It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that you want to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still compete. It don't make sense.
50 Cent and Eminem are officially teaming up, and they're aiming straight at Jay-Z with zero hesitation. They're calling out some major allegations: shady business deals, stolen credit, award show rigging, and even an alleged trail of careers left in ruins. This ain't just some background noise anymore. It's looking like a 5-alarm fire now. 50 Cent is putting it out there that Jay-Z's still out here trying to block his business plays even now.
That vote is fake as f***. That's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings.
Cowboy Carter. Beyonce.
In 2025, and Eminem, he's been sounding the alarm for years, warning everyone about how dark and dirty this music industry really is. Lately, M's been slipping those cryptic bars into his tracks, sneaky hints about powerful gatekeepers pulling the strings behind the scenes. But it doesn't end there. Beyonce's name is getting pulled into the storm too. She's facing serious accusations of stealing songwriting credits and allegedly blackballing other women in the game. People are pointing fingers and bringing up names like Aaliyah, Maya, Mary J. Blige, and Carrie Hilson, women who were rising until all of a sudden they weren't, and everything just went quiet.
It's the price you pay, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder, and they make threats, and those threats are huge ones.
Jay-Z and Beyonce's tight connection with Diddy is setting off alarms again. People are really starting to ask questions. Jay-Z might have dodged that lawsuit filed by Jane Doe, but now the alleged victim is dropping serious hints. She's saying she felt pressured to keep her mouth shut right after some real shady individuals showed up knocking on her door. That's next level scary stuff. So now everybody's asking the real question. Are Jay-Z and Beyonce really that perfect power couple they show the world? Or are they just pros at sweeping every mess under the rug when no one's looking? Have they been sitting at the top while stepping over folks to stay there? And do 50 Cent and Eminem really have the inside info? Are they about to blow the lid off a system that's been ending artists' careers, maybe even risking lives?
So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the hand?
No.
Oh,
I don't think. I think that they were saying the NFL has some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. What is the issue? You start looking at that's not mine. That's theirs. They are, right? But when you look at him, is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with him, Dre, and myself. Like, I'm a shady actor. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's so much G-Unit records.
Right.
You forget that I'm him and Dre's.
For years, Jay and Bey were untouchable. Say one bad thing about them and boom, instant backlash. People calling you bitter or jealous. And this time, 50 Cent's got the receipts to back it all up. Way back in 2023, 50 claimed that Jay-Z tried blocking him from performing at the Super Bowl halftime show, using his NFL connects to pull strings behind closed doors. Wild, right? But here's where it really flipped. Jay's whole plan totally backfired because Eminem wasn't having it.
Sell your soul to get them. And you didn't know if you wanted it for the recognition or the trophies, but then what's the difference? And that Grammys pretty much suck the blood of artists and nominate them, have them come to the shows. And
Which they do. They
Is that
do
what?
it every year. Yeah, and I'm just tired of seeing it. And for whatever reason, it's like they're always pitching this hint that you might win Album of the Year, which used to be a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal.
That bold move alone exposed just how far Jay was willing to go just to keep 50 Cent out of the spotlight. Now, fast forward to 50's recent sit-down on Talk with Flea featuring Cameron. And once again, he's putting Jay-Z on blast. According to 50, Jay's still out here moving dirty behind the scenes, not just in the music industry, but in the boardrooms too. And here's the craziest part. 50 said Jay-Z already proved everything he needed to prove.
What boy was doing with the Super Bowl. Because he was doing like, yeah, guys, doing some wild things. Because he was saying that to Eminem that the NFL had the issue with me. And I'm like, well, what's the issue? Why don't I have an issue when I'm becoming a partner in the actual team, but they got an issue with my performance? Like, makes no sense.
So I was going to get to that later, but since we're here now. And when he says, oh boy, for the audience to know, he's talking about Jay-Z. This was discussed before. Jay-Z told Dr. Dre, just for people who's not up on this, or Eminem, that he didn't want you to perform part of that Super Bowl they had a couple years ago. Why do you think that is?
Well, I just threatened. Yeah,
possibly.
Not even threatened. I think it's just when you take the competition from, like, our culture is competitive. Man. It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that you want to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still compete. It don't make sense. Like, what are we competing for? Tell us the goal. Like this even like a lot of this, even a lot of the competitive stuff, or what we would call it beef, right? It changed. That terminology changed when it's Biggie and Tupac, because we start saying the things that people would say that cause beef in the environment. Right. When before that they called it battling in our culture. Right. Because that's what it is until it turns into frustration. So when you're not competing for those things anymore, and you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem? You can't exactly remember what the problem was. That's what I went through.
Yet, he's allegedly still out here trying to ruin 50's business deals, just out of pure spite. Like, he just can't let it go. And trust, it doesn't stop there. Now, 50 Cent and Eminem are linking up heavy, ready to blow the lid off what they say is full-on Grammy rigging. 50's pointing fingers straight at Jay-Z, saying he's been using his marriage to Beyonce like some kind of cheat code to scoop up awards. Meanwhile, Eminem's been yelling for years that the Grammys are nothing but a scam, a pay-to-win setup where real talent don't even matter. And when Beyonce finally grabbed Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter, not everyone was clapping for it. Fans started whispering that Jay had pulled strings once again, especially since just the year before.
Andre Young, thank you, sir. All the doors that you opened, showed us that we can be rock stars, seeing you on the Rolling Stone. Obviously, there's Run DMC with the Leathers and the Aerosmith. But when you came out west, you took it to a whole new level. Some of you don't belong in the category. Oh, no, that was it. No, when I get nervous, I tell him.
He jumped on that Grammy stage, calling out the Recording Academy for snubbing his wife. But here's where it gets even weirder. Fans weren't buying Jay's speech. It felt off, fake even. Like there he was holding an award while blasting the same folks who handed it to him. People were asking, if the Grammys are really that biased, why even show up? Why not walk away and show you don't need their approval instead of begging for it on stage? That whole vibe had folks talking even louder. Are the Carters really stacking trophies through talent? Or is it all blackmail and big money deals behind the scenes? For years, folks on the inside have been saying the Grammys ain't really about talent. It's all industry politics and secret handshakes. And one of the loudest voices calling it out has always been Eminem. M's been saying forever that the whole Grammy setup is a scam. And he meant it. He even swore off ever showing up again. And he stuck to that. But don't get it twisted. Eminem ain't salty just because he didn't win. He said plain and clear, if another artist really dropped a better album than him, he respect it. What really eats at him is how the Grammys play his name. They hype Eminem up, plaster his face all over the promos, make it look like he's got a real shot at taking home a trophy just to get more views and boost the ratings. Then when the show hits, Boom, shut out like he was never even in the running. Smoke and mirrors all day. And when someone asked him if he'd ever consider coming back if he joined the Grammy voting crew, he didn't even flinch. Said it wouldn't change a thing. Why? In his own words, the whole thing's rigged.
50 did not win Best New Artist at the Grammys.
There was nothing bigger than
Nothing bigger, and nobody since maybe like Snoop came out the gate like that. My first album didn't do it. I never saw someone's first album in the wave happen like he had. And then he doesn't get it. And then I get up there another year, and what was it, the Eminem show? And it was like, whatever. I'm fine if I lose to Kanye or someone that I'm like, okay, I respect that. I know who that is, and Kanye has a huge following. He's made a massive impact on music. Fine, I'm good with that. But don't get us all here to use your selling point for your show and stiff everybody every single.
Those votes don't mean a thing. Meanwhile, 50 Cent is riding right alongside him, throwing even more shade. He's not just calling the Grammys rigged. 50 flat out said Jay-Z's wins got nothing to do with music. According to 50, Jay's stacking those awards because of his marriage to Beyonce. He claims the Recording Academy knows the deal. As long as Jay and Bey show up, they're getting those trophies. The cameras flash, the ratings shoot through the roof, and suddenly the whole show's trending everywhere. So what's the move? Keep nominating Jay and Beyonce. Keep handing them awards just to make sure that power couple pulls up and brings the spotlight with them. But 50 Cent wasn't done, not even close. On his recent appearance on the Flagrant podcast, he went in even harder. 50 says straight up that Jay-Z's whole empire, all those Grammy trophies, it ain't really about raw talent. It's all about who he's married to. And 50 didn't just stop there. He flat out called Jay and Beyonce's relationship a contract. He suggested they might just be keeping it all together for the image, the deals, and the power it brings. Crazy, right? But it ain't just 50 saying Jay's playing dirty to stay at the top. For years now, insiders have been whispering that both Jay-Z and Beyonce have allegedly blocked other artists on purpose. Why? Simple. So nobody else shines too bright. So they're always the ones winning, always the main focus. And then there's the dark story of Beyonce's former bodyguard, Uncle Ron. Before he passed from pneumonia, Uncle Ron went public, saying he had receipts, real proof that Jay and Bey destroyed careers, ruined lives, and crushed rising stars, all just to lock down their own throne. He said he knew too much, and the timing of his death, let's just say people are definitely talking. And how could we not mention Jaguar Wright in all this? She used to sing backup for Jay-Z, but now she's one of his loudest, fiercest critics. Jaguar's been spilling heavy tea, claiming folks close to Jay, like Harlem legend Big L, either lost their lives mysteriously or watched their careers disappear right when Jay was blowing up. Let's hit pause real quick and talk about Big L for a second. Back in the early 90s, Big L was one of Harlem's brightest stars, a real lyrical monster known for his crazy freestyles. The streets had his name buzzing everywhere. He locked in a deal with Columbia Records, dropped a debut that made real noise, and even when Columbia let him go, Big L wasn't ready to back down. He set up his own label and was making serious moves. That's when Dame Dash, co-founder of Rockefeller Records, started paying attention. Big L was finally lining up that big break. But right when his career was about to explode, tragedy hit hard. February 15th, 1999, Big L was gunned down in a Harlem drive-by. And all these years later, the case still sits cold. No justice, no answers. But if you ask Jaguar Wright, she ain't holding back one bit. She's fully convinced Jay-Z might have had something to do with it. That's the kind of suspicion swirling around his name right now.
The first time I ever saw Jay-Z or even heard him spit a rhyme was at an MC battle, street battle in New York. But he didn't show up as Jay-Z. He didn't show up as the hottest rapper on the street. He showed up as that was with Big L.
Rest
For
in
those
peace.
of you,
Rest in peace, Big L.
rest in peace, Big L. That was the
Dopest. One of the
sensei.
dopest.
Big
Yes.
L was who put Jay-Z on.
Now, of course.
And then Big L died, and the next thing you know, Jay-Z.
And now, from one legend to another, it's time to shift the spotlight to DMX. DMX was one of the only rappers besides 50 Cent who really had the guts to step up and call out Jay-Z, face to face. DMX always said Jay was bitter, jealous, and moving sneaky. And when Jay became president of Def Jam in 2004, things got real messy. DMX had been holding Def Jam down heavy. 5 back-to-back #1 albums from 1998 to 2003.
The game is bull, man. The game is bull. If you want to rap or sing or whatever, don't become a part of the game. You know what? Listen to a song I called The Industry. And that pretty much explains, saying what it's about. The industry. Man, it's not the same. The industry, it's not a game. The industry really is dying to get in the industry just to find they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that. But I'm going to dress like this and talk like that.
But when it came time for him to drop his 6th project, Year of the Dog Again, DMX claimed Jay-Z purposely delayed it just to clear the stage for his own comeback. Straight power moves, all about control.
One man can destroy another man's life. It's ultimately in your own decisions. I had a lot of issues. Like I said, legal issues at the time. And, my mind wasn't where I'm at now today. Like, I used to have questions like, why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like, I was always close. And I never understood that. Every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top. And it was like, damn, like to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe. But
And the drama didn't stop there. In 2005, DMX shook things up with his track, The Industry, where he laid it all out, exposing the shady games going on behind closed doors. And here's the craziest part. Most of what DMX spoke on back then is still happening today. Even Irv Gotti, someone deep in the industry, said it plain. Jay-Z was jealous of DMX. Irv claimed that Jay and his mentor Leor Cohen used to sit back laughing behind the scenes, thinking DMX would never blow up. But X proved them dead wrong, no question. And Jay's name doesn't stop there. It keeps popping up with Beanie Siegel, too. Beanie's talked about how it felt like somebody was always pulling strings just to keep him held down. He said Jay-Z would drop his own albums around the same time as Beanie's, flooding the spotlight so Beanie's numbers would never get too high. Almost like Beanie was only allowed to climb so far, but never higher than a set limit. Yeah, Beanie Siegel admitted he made his share of mistakes, especially with his legal run-in.
It's the price you pay, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder. And they make threats. And those threats are huge ones. And you know what I mean? You don't feel like you have a choice. I really didn't feel like I had a choice. It was do this or this.
But he made it super clear, Jay-Z's shady moves weren't some accident. According to Beanie, every single step Jay made was calculated to the max. And let's not pretend Beyonce's hands are clean in all this either. Some fans still push the idea that she's just Jay's puppet, but that story doesn't really hold up. There's no way Beyonce's been standing next to Jay-Z all these years without being part of the strategy. If anything, they've been running the whole game side by side and allegedly clearing out anybody they see as a threat along the way. Here's just a little taste of that tea. When Beyonce left Destiny's Child and started getting close with Jay, something real strange went down. Jay allegedly pulled producer Rich Harrison away from rising star Amory, who was heating up big at the time and rumored to be real competition for Beyonce. Y'all remember Amory's hit One Thing? That track had the same wild signature vibe as Crazy in Love, and some fans still think Beyonce copied the whole formula after Harrison jumped ship. And it doesn't stop there. Look at Carrie Hilson. She had a public clash with Beyoncé that spun completely out of control. Word on the street is Carey's own producers allegedly tricked her into recording a diss track aimed at Bey, setting her up to get dragged and canceled on purpose. Carey denied it at first, but things got even worse when she refused to hold a magazine cover with Beyoncé and Jay-Z on it. "You want to hold a magazine?" They asked Carey Hilson, and when she said no, the Beehive lost it. Carey got hit with serious backlash from fans, some even confronting her out in the streets. But behind the scenes, whispers started swirling. Folks saying Beyoncé may have set the whole thing up. Some sources claim Bey had insiders planted in Carey's camp, folks who lined her up to record that diss track while Beyoncé kept her hands clean playing the innocent victim. And years later, in a 2020 interview, Carey kind of confirmed it. She admitted she was pressured into dropping that track, and the threats she got afterward, 100% real. That wasn't just some random fallout. That was career sabotage disguised as drama. It's the price you pay. You know, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder, and they make threats. And those threats are huge ones. And you know what I mean? You don't feel like you have a choice. I really didn't feel like I had a choice. It was do this or this. And we definitely can't forget about Kellis. She straight up accused Beyoncé of stealing after Bey sampled her iconic hit Milkshake without giving her even a sliver of credit. Here's the wild part. Kellis didn't even know it happened until the internet told her. She found out just like everybody else through social media. Kellis posted, "I heard about this the same way everyone else did. Nothing is ever as it seemed. Some of the people in this business have no soul or integrity, and they have everyone fooled." Later, Kellis jumped on Instagram to break down the whole situation in detail. Kellis said it herself. This wasn't just about music. It was about respect. She pointed out that as black female artists, there aren't many in the game holding real weight. And with all the mutual friends and personal ties, a simple phone call could have fixed everything. Kellis said straight up, "It's not that hard to contact me. It's just common decency." But instead of apologizing or owning up to it, Beyoncé quietly removed the sample and never said a word. No statement, no accountability, just silence. Then there's Maya, a name folks don't hear enough anymore, but for all the wrong reasons. Word is she got blackballed after allegedly turning down Jay-Z's advances. Maya's been real vocal in interviews saying there are powerful people in the industry who abuse their status, putting young, ambitious artists in dangerous situations. For Maya, she kept it simple. She said no and walked away, but that move came with a price. Maya hinted that refusing certain folks led to her reputation getting dragged through the dirt and her career quietly getting pushed aside. So now that you've seen just how many names have spoken up, 50 Cent, Eminem, Kellis, Maya, Jaguar Wright, DMX, Beanie Siegel, and more, the question really stands loud and clear. Are Jay-Z and Beyoncé just protecting their empire, or are they actually out here sabotaging the competition behind closed doors? And believe it or not, this list ain't even complete. If there's somebody you think we left out, drop their name down in the comments right now. What's your take on all these claims? Are the Carters really untouchable or just masters at hiding the mess behind the scenes? Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with your crew. If you want more wild stories that pull back the curtain on the music industry, hit that bell so you never miss a drop. Catch you in the next.